Hello and welcome to another episode of An Echo of Glory. I'm Johnny Blaine. Joining me this week, we've got two Jakes. Jake Robson, hello.
Hello.
Right.
Yeah, you?
I'm fine, thank you. And Jake Sanders, hello.
How you doing?
All right, you?
Cheer up, lads.
Yeah, I was going to say typical cheery. I know Arsenal's on the horizon, but
I was going to say we should be like this next Monday, shouldn't we?
Yeah, we'll come to all that. It's international break. People hate that, don't they? I haven't seen you at work.
I haven't seen you at work.
I was there.
I was there.
Okay.
Ships in the night.
Yeah, ships in the night.
I'll see you tomorrow night. Or
Okay.
will I?
I'll be there. I'll be there with in my permutation station with people going, have they qualified? It's been all right.
Have they qualified?
England have.
Oh, we know that.
First team since Yugoslavia in 1954 to win every game without conceding in qualifying. But Yugoslavia only played 4 games.
And that record's going to last maybe 2 days, is it?
Who else?
Spain can do it, can't they?
Spain, yeah.
Trendsetters.
Spain look really good. What do we think about England before we come on to all things Tottenham
An echo of
Hotspur?
England.
Yeah.
Who knows? Just beat crap teams all the time.
Yeah, but we've been putting them away properly.
Yeah, like we always did.
No, but win every game without conceding, like I said, hasn't happened before.
Yeah, I know. It's fine, isn't it? I would argue hasn't happened before. This is the best team squad, and manager combination we've ever had.
That's what Kane said.
Squad. Did he? Well, me and Harry were just
Read your back pages, mate.
Isn't it? I mean, Jack Grealish doesn't even get in the squad. Is Phil Foden in this squad?
Yeah,
he was, wasn't he? But
yeah, of course. But it comes up to the old. How did we never win anything with Lampard and Gerrard? It doesn't necessarily.
I said a manager squad combination.
Yeah, exactly. He's managing the squad properly. He doesn't have to. He won't pick Bellingham every week or Foden every week. He's doing it well. Yeah.
Ultimately, you can be as strong as you want.
Yeah.
And obviously, the stronger you are, the best chance you got. But in World Cups, it just never really comes down to that. It's just like any cup competition, isn't it? Yeah. Obviously, having this amazing squad will help us, but it's just on the day. How many times have we seen, top teams look really good, stroll through qualifiers, even stroll through a group, and then half an hour of not very good stuff in a knockout game and you're out. But
I'd say how many times? All the time with England. I wouldn't say that always happens with the other teams. They're either good.
Well, I don't know. Someone
well.
mentioned Germany went through the qualifying. Was it for 20?
18?
18 and won every game, conceded once and got knocked out in the groups and didn't win at the World Cup.
That was
We're not going to. I think we're good though. I do think.
But that happened to them once. That seems to happen to us like every time.
Well, we got to a semi-final and finished 4th.
We're one of the form countries in recent
it's good. Listen, I know people look on here 3-4 all 7-7. No more international football until March. That's great. Like, let's just concentrate on the proper stuff now. But
I love it.
I'm rare. I like an international break. I know that.
Really?
I know that the qualifiers can.
Your bank manager likes it.
I know that the qualifiers can be pretty dull, but let's talk about Troy Parrott.
No, please. Can we just? Can we just get this
forget
clear?
the fact.
Can we just get this clear?
Go on.
I just want to make it clear to every Spurs fan out there.
Yeah.
It is amazing what Troy Parrott has done this week.
Yeah.
But we should have sold him.
Yeah.
And we are not signing him back.
Correct.
And he is not at Premier League level now.
Correct.
He did amazingly this week, and everything he touched turned to gold. And it is great to see him doing it. And you know what? I hope that he goes on to great things. But we do not need him back. We don't. It's as simple as that.
Has anyone had a better international break than that?
Than Troy Parrott?
Look, players have scored a lot of goals on international break, but in dead games. He has gone.
Sounds like you've had a better international break than Troy Parrott.
He's gone and beaten Portugal on his own,
it's
and he's gone and beaten Hungary on his own. You talk about him like we don't need him back. Obviously, we don't need him back, but
do we even know how good he is?
Nope.
Like, do we? Everyone's saying we need to sign him back.
No.
Yeah, there were some great finishes. I watched a bit yesterday. Brilliant finishes, but we knew it was a great finisher. He got the Kane comparisons when he was younger, but he's scoring a decent amount of goals, 1 and 2 in Holland, and he's had a week of his lifetime. Let's see before we get serious about him, even maybe coming back to the Premier League, where he is in 2 years.
Other things that happened on international break: Vicario, rare start for him. They scraped past Moldova. I think it was 2-0 in the end, but both goals late. They got battered
Did he play
by Norway.
He didn't play.
No, Donnarumma played yesterday. They got battered at home by Norway. They're in danger of missing a 3rd World Cup in a row.
I think they'll probably be all right, won't they, Josh?
They've won one.
Hopefully not. We don't need a Dogie going to
No.
World Cup.
They've won one World Cup
Well,
game since they
won't
won
be,
it.
all right, just they're going to have to go in the playoffs.
Yeah, but I looked at the teams and they're probably going to be just okay.
You never know.
You do never know.
As in, you never. I mean,
No, of course. But I just they're probably.
why? Because you look at who else in there and go, there's not really anyone to trouble them.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah, they should be okay. Danso, he played for Austria against Cyprus. Ben Davies pulled out, injured. Porro, did he play for Spain?
Yeah.
Romero played against Angola, but their international breaks finished. Udogi, he didn't go to with Italy. Spence didn't play for England. Van der Ven played left back for Holland. We talked about that. Does he get forward?
He does play left back.
Yeah,
What,
exactly. He
see,
played
right.
left back.
Position,
Yeah, you see that run.
It was Bow against Barca, wasn't it?
Every time you see that run, do you not go, can you stop doing that, please? Because everyone's watching you, mate. What else happened? Bergvall went, but then came home. An issue with him.
I don't think that was a huge shock.
But if he's struggling still, he could.
No, I know, but the game was on a Saturday, and then the first game was on a Tuesday, so it's usually 10 days, and I assume they were like, well, if you can only play one game, then we're better off having someone else.
He said he felt dizzy. Brennan Johnson only came off the bench as they beat Liechtenstein. Kudus, he didn't go. Perhaps Sarr came off.
Apparently he was okay. The manager said it was more he was feeling under the weather.
Kudus didn't go. Oh, because he's not been fit.
Not been
fully
100%. Did João Paulinho? Did he play?
Yeah, he was unused sub in both.
Unused sub. They qualified for
Which
the World
is a bit
Cup.
mad, isn't it? That he can't get a minute for Portugal. I know they've got a ridiculously talented squad.
He bought on Cliver instead of him against Poland. He might play against Lithuania on Monday evening.
No, what do you mean?
Cliver.
I thought
Paulinho.
Sorry, I thought we were talking about Xavi Simons.
No,
Sorry.
no.
Sorry.
That's what I was thinking. Because they won 9-1, didn't they?
Yeah, he didn't get on. Richarlison was in the Brazil squad. Xavi Simons, like I said, didn't play against Poland. Could play against Lithuania.
Did Richarlison come off the bench?
Don't know. So that's it, really.
And who was Richarlison playing for?
Brazil.
And who else was playing for Brazil?
Gabriel. That's got him going this morning.
Yeah.
Well, that moves us on nicely to what's coming.
I read the running order.
You wanted to talk about the boxing at one point. Best performance in blue and white at the Spurs Stadium this season from Ben.
And that was just the ring walk.
Stadium looks great, doesn't it? I mean, it's certainly fit for that.
Yeah, it does look great.
And you know what I'm talking about, do you, the ring walk?
It was 50 cent.
50 cent.
I know.
Come on.
Talking of bank managers, he needs the he needs the money, doesn't he?
But you can't bring out 50 Cent and then perform how he did. That looks awful.
Terrible.
Amazing.
I should point out that later in the show, once we've had a little chat about the North London derby, we're going to talk to Rachel and Mark from the Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust about their new campaign, which is basically, I think we can all get behind it, making the stadium affordable and accessible for young fans.
50 Cent is how much Daniel Levy offered to Jack Grealish.
Yeah, Flanners, 50 Cent is how much Daniel Levy offered for Grealish. He's gone now. We don't need to talk about him. And hopefully we can talk to the Trust about, maybe under the new regime, things will start to change in terms of the fan experience. We're talking to them in about 15 minutes. But we have got the North London derby coming up. Jake, you weren't here last time after the Man United game. Before we just go on to Arsenal.
You said this last time.
This is Jake.
Hey.
Oh, this Jake.
You're not the only Jake in the room.
Only Jake in this
town. Thoughts on United? Thoughts on going into Sunday before we talk about it specifically?
Yeah, United was bad. It was bad. I know the second half was a bit bad, but it was really bad. I felt like there were points at half time where I was thinking, if they score again, this is going to get really toxic, which is not very nice after 11 games. But yeah, it's bad. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I know I'm not writing Frank off, but it's bad. It's boring. It's everyone's out of form and fans have had enough. It feels like there's this fans already resigned to not winning home games before they've started, which is why there's a lot of groans quite early, and we're sort of. Fans are going into home games with a bit of baggage from previous games, which is never great.
Yeah.
It's not like, we lost to Chelsea. Okay, fine, we can put that to one side. It'll be the same. It'll be the same against Fulham in a few weeks. If we don't start well and we go 1-0 down, it will continuously be like that until we win a string of home games, which is shit. because we're really struggling. But, you know,
Beep that out.
credit, you know, we somehow nearly came back and won a game we didn't even look like we were trying to draw at times. It looked like we were just happy to lose the game 1-0. But that just sort of encapsulated everything going on at the moment and everything at home. The fact that we did that, and then, you know, Richarlison did what he did, and then we somehow conceded to 10 men when United were done and dusted and not even trying to score themselves.
Do you think the players feel the pressure at home?
100%. 100%. Yeah, definitely. There is pressure, and, you know, we're a tough fan base to please, and so we should be. We've got high standards, and we've been rubbish at home for a long time, and we pay a lot of money, and we demand a lot, and so we should. And if you can't, you know, handle the pressure at home, you shouldn't be here.
We got, do you say Fulham and then Brentford?
Fulham and Brentford, yeah. I mean,
got to take 6 points from those.
And then even after that, Liverpool, which is so winnable at the moment, regardless of what they've got. You know, I'm sure Isak will somehow end up scoring in the next 9 games before we play him, and then Salah will hit form. And
no, Jake, no. He won't score, and then he'll score against us.
To be fair, Salah might be away actually, which is, I don't know if that's good or bad.
Are you saying that if the fans maybe will boo the players into playing better at home?
No, I've got nothing wrong with the booing. I boo. People don't like it. I don't think that.
But
there's nothing wrong with booing.
10 or 15 minutes when it's not going our way.
No, I'm not saying 10 or 15 minutes.
That's what's happened, right? And
no, I'm not. You're sounding like you're blaming the fans, though.
No, you said no. I'm not. But I'm not blaming the fans. But I'm saying you said there's baggage there, which is fine. But because the home run has been so bad, maybe.
But me as a fan personally, When we've generally been good at home over the years, I don't remember it. Like pre 2023, let's say, even, you know, we don't like the stadium, but we were generally pretty good at home, and we had some good home wins, right? You'd go into a home game, and if we'd start bad, fine, not a problem. First 15 minutes, you can forgive. But now
there was credit in the bank.
Yeah, but it wasn't just credit in the bank. There was a belief that we'd be fine. We'd go on and win that game. Not a problem. Even if we went 1-0 down, we did it loads over the years. Now, my spirit's gone off the 15 minutes. It's like a ticking time bomb. It's like, it doesn't start well when you're like, this is not looking good.
But even when we went 1-0 up against Villa, 2-0 up against Chelsea, I just don't believe.
No belief.
I don't believe, and I need.
I don't think they believe, though. That's the problem.
Yeah. But we do have the 19th worst home form in the league, but we do have the best away record in the league.
Who's got the worst home form? Wolves.
Wolves, yeah.
That doesn't really count, does it?
Wolves with their 1 away goal and 1 away point all season. Who was that against? But we do have the best away record in the league. I don't believe someone said to me, we're playing well away from home. I don't know how well we're playing away from home. Certainly getting really good results
to be fair,
away
I
from
think
home.
Those 4 games, is it 4 away games or is it 5?
5.
What was the last one?
Everton, Leeds, West Ham.
I think besides Everton, we've actually been. City was good.
Yeah.
West Ham was good.
Yeah.
Brighton was probably our best performance of the season. Leeds was decent to iffy.
Yeah,
if we play like how we did in those 4 games for the rest of the season away, outside of the top games, the top teams, your Bournemouth, Palace, Brentford, we'll win plenty of away games.
All right, but how are you feeling about Sunday?
Well, if we play like we played against City, then we've got every chance. Why not? Of maybe not losing. I don't think it's that pessimistic to say we're really up against it, regardless of how we've been playing. Arsenal, just look at Arsenal at home.
Won every game.
Exactly. So it's no disgrace to go there and
conceded
lose.
once all season.
If we're going to say that the chances are based on how Arsenal have gone this season, we're probably going to lose.
I don't think that's why we're going to lose.
No, well, I was going to. The question is.
They've not won.
Is it a case of? Is it a case
of City? Sorry.
If we lose, is it a case of how we lose, or is it going to be just defeat? We're pissed off.
I think generally
that's a good question
because Arsenal, you've got no right to go to Arsenal and expect really to get anything.
I think whatever way we lose a North London derby as a fan, if you get what that fixture means, you're fuming. But there are ways to lose, and we can all.
The 5-2s.
As mad as it sounds, we can accept losing to Arsenal. Yeah. We've lost so many times. We've won once at the Emirates, right? Not a problem, but we need to put in a performance there. Because the way I see it going is them lot winning by 2, maybe 3.
Nah,
and
I
us
doubt
hardly. It. You doubt we're going to lose by 2?
They don't beat many teams that by that scoreline.
What, 2-0?
3. I don't see us conceding 3. There's nothing that I've seen this season that would suggest that we'll go to
Right,
Arsenal.
maybe
and
not
concede.
3, maybe
Arsenal
2.
don't even score. Arsenal maybe 3 set pieces, but I mean,
They scored
Arsenal's home
don't
games
see
this
it.
season have been 3-0, 5-0, 2-0,
yeah,
1-0.
5-0 was against Leeds. One against Fulham. Like,
They've scored 20 goals this season.
Yeah, but-
60% of them have come from set pieces. We've got to be smart. So we've won twice there, not just the Emirates, at Arsenal, Premier League history. One of them they tossed away in like 93 when they were in the...
they played. Sorry, they played.
In the
They
FA
beat
Cup
Leeds
final.
5-0. They beat Forest 3-0. They drew with City. They beat West Ham 2-0. Come on, this is embarrassing. And then they beat
Why is
Palace.
it embarrassing?
They're winning home games,
Why is it
mate.
embarrassing?
No, but as in, there's not to say that they're a
Jake,
juggernaut.
we're 9-1 to win the game.
Yeah. I'm not. I was
outrageous to
no,
say
no,
we
no.
might lose by 2 or 3.
I was the one that said that we can't go there expecting to win. I fully don't expect us
Yeah,
to
but
win.
I've said I expect us
just
to
don't
probably
expect
go
us
there
to
and lose 2-3-0. I think that's...
based on how we've been playing away from home.
But
we're not. When you and also based on how they've been playing at home. That's what I'm trying to say is, they've thrashed Leeds, they've thrashed.
Yeah, but
Forest.
they don't have to play well. They're not great on the eye, Arsenal. They're just the most efficient team in Europe.
Correct.
They are.
But
I've
don't think
watched them play not very well this season, and just that's what they do.
But we've been good away from home. They haven't faced anyone.
This-
I'm not saying we're going to win, but I'm saying I don't see us going there based on how we've played away from home and getting battered by an Arsenal side who I think are a bit meh against better side. Like, I haven't seen it. There's no evidence to suggest that they're going to beat a good side. We haven't
The thing
seen
is,
it yet. It hasn't happened.
also the
they beat
counter-
Palace 1-0 at home. Okay,
yeah,
fine.
but what does that even mean? So be it.
Will makes a good point, debating how many we'll lose by. Look, history
I'm
dictates
just
we've
using
got a
what I've
terrible
seen
record
this
there.
season, and I don't see they haven't battered a good side at home.
I
this
want to
season
ask a
yet.
question that someone's put up on here. I felt we should have done it against Chelsea. Does he go 5 at the back?
I don't even care. I don't know. I don't know. Is it probably? Yeah.
Do you think he should go 5 at the back?
Yeah, probably. Just because I guess you need that extra protection from set pieces with Danso, who is very, good from headers and clearances and that kind of thing. He was good at. Was it Monaco? He was really good. Danso.
Yeah.
And Everton. Sorry, Everton. Didn't he make that obscene amount of clearances?
Yes. Blocks.
Crosses in the box. You need him. And as we say, no Gabriel, whether he plays or not, I'm sure he'll miraculously recover. But that would be a massive help, more than previous years. He's probably their most important player from the way they play at the moment, right?
Well, definitely the set pieces.
Yeah. 60% of their Premier League goals, set pieces.
Yeah, but how many has he been involved in as well?
Yeah, he's a freak.
Is the back 5 thing a bit of a myth?
What do you mean?
Well, we haven't seen it. Have we seen it since?
We haven't seen it since PSG.
No. So is he done with it?
Did we not do it recently, or did I?
We
imagine-
thought we'd do it against Chelsea.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah,
and we didn't. So I maybe
Ronnie's right here. Probably the next 2.
What's
You
he said?
could do it. Go.
5 against Arsenal and against PSG. Look, we'll come back to this. I want to talk more about how many we might lose against Arsenal by, or not, if we can get some optimism in the room. But I want to talk, I think our guests are here. I need to hear from James. I can see someone popping up. We're going to talk to the couple of members of the Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust. We did this a couple of years ago about the price of football. This is a slightly different topic, talking about affordable tickets for fans, which are certainly for young fans, which I think is something we can all get behind. Mark from the Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust is with us. I don't know if Rachel is here yet, quite possibly just about to join us. But the Trust, I don't know if you've seen on Twitter, I've started a new campaign. Maybe we'll wait for Rachel, but we'll start with Mark. Mark, can you hear me?
I can indeed. Can you hear me?
I can. Thank you for joining us. And Rachel's here as well. Hello, can you hear us, Rachel?
Yes, I can.
Great. Thank you both for joining us. I was just saying that we had it was Kat and Martin on from the Trust a couple of years ago. That was more about the overall price of football, which I don't think has changed. It's probably got worse in the 2 years we've spoken to them. But you guys have started a new campaign, fill our home, find our voice, a sort of a 6-point campaign. I think I can get it up on the screen here. I'll just quickly read through the 6 points. Cheaper match ticket pricing, particularly for midweek home cup ties. Extend the young adult category to 18 to 25. Point 3, young adult concessions for all matches. Point 4, concessions throughout the South Stand for all children and young adults. Point 5, young adult tickets to be available on the ticket exchange. And point 6, opt in for season ticket holders to allow their seat to be resold at concession rate. This is all about, you know, certainly affordability and accessibility for young fans. What's the process, Rachel? What's the process of getting this to the club, and how do you get them to listen?
I mean, none of these ideas, actually, maybe one of them, but most of these ideas we've been talking about with the club for a long time. Through the trust, through our memorandum of understanding meetings, we have 3 formal meetings with the club every year, and we also talk to the club every day on various issues. So these ideas will have been put forward often, but also my colleague Steve Cavalier and I are on the fan advisory board, so we've been putting those ideas through there as well. And basically, it's very clear that since, well, particularly since Sonny left, his supporters have gone with him, and most of them, I mean, it's lovely to see that lots of them, you know, some of them do still support Tottenham and still stay at the ground, but there are a lot of spaces. And so we've been talking to them about how we address that. So, for example, at the beginning of the season, when they announced that they were going to restrict ticket share to members only, we said this is, you know, this is not going to work. I mean, we're obviously opposed to it, but it's you're cutting off your nose to spite your face, because there are already less people coming, and you're now making it harder for people to share their ticket if they can't come. So, you know, it just doesn't make any sense to bring this in now, along with other things that we've addressed. So we also talk with the club. I'm on the atmosphere working group, for example, through the fan advisory board, and we work with Return of the Shelf, THFC Flags, and the club on a formal basis to address the atmosphere. And again, it's about helping them to understand that atmosphere is, it's not something you can just plan and play some music and do some fantastic light shows and then expect atmosphere to sort of carry on throughout the game and be generated because of that. That isn't what builds atmosphere. Atmosphere is us, the fans. And it's, you know, the players have a responsibility, and the results have an impact. And obviously, if the game is dead boring and, you know, where we've gone down 1 goal within the first couple of minutes, and, you know, everyone gets understandably really frustrated, the light show, that impact has gone. And it's basically, you need to fill the stands with Spurs fans, firstly, young Spurs fans preferably, and the people who will be there in the future. So we have said that to them over and over again. We then told them we're going to be doing this as a public campaign. It is not that we're, you know, it's not a sort of a case of really calling the club out or anything. We're just saying you need to do this. If we all want the same thing, if we all work together, then we can get that atmosphere back. The players want it, the manager wants it, the club wants it, we all want it. So work with us, take on some of our ideas, if not all of them.
Can I just confirm, a few people, when you put your tweet out, a lot of people were going, what about the seniors? What about this one? What about... There are other campaigns still running, or is it... Yeah. Okay, so it's not just... These things have not been forgotten. There's a lot of things on the table at the moment.
There's loads of things. I mean, we're working on, you know, the unfair away allocations, the way, you know, that's a closed shop. We're working on expanding the senior offer. We have got some shift on that. You know, they are actually agreeing to replenish the senior concessions up to the given number that there was before. But we're talking about atmosphere here. We're talking about how do you build the fan base, to build the noise and to be excited and to come week after week, year after year, decade after decade.
Something to pick up on what you just said about the membership. Everybody knows now that you have to be a member. You pay 50 quid and then you can join the ticket sharing program. On the face of it, that just looks like a way of charging people regardless of how many times they want to come. Whereas, of course, before you could forward on your ticket. So it looks like a bit of a money grab from a fan's point of view. What reasoning did the club give to you, or were they fully upfront and said this is a sort of commercial decision? And also, when you're putting these kind of things to the club, do they understand sort of the fans' point of view, or does it sort of come back to you as you don't really you yourselves don't understand the commercial side of what the club is trying to do?
Yeah, it's they would say, and I have a tiny bit of sympathy with this, is that it's a way of stopping bots and touts. Okay, so I can sort of understand on some of their principles that that's what they're trying to do, and they're trying to make sure, as we want it to be, that it is Spurs fans in Spurs seats. But we always find that we're given the great news that we've achieved a freeze on season ticket prices, and then and then this
else.
is
Yeah.
brought in at the very last minute without any consultation whatsoever. And we have the whole fan advisory board, the trust has relentlessly fought this, and we are confident that there will be some good news soon.
This is a question for both of you. You say you're in contact with the club quite a lot. I just want to know what the reaction from the club was sort of after the Champions League games, because much has been made about these two Champions League games and the Dortmund game. I know they've changed the pricing category, but I believe that apart from the Doncaster game, that the two Champions League games are by far the lowest attendances of the season. And, this is supposed to be Europe's elite competition. And we've got a massive game against Copenhagen a few weeks ago, and the ground's 20% empty. TNT commentators are using it, speaking about it, calling out the club, and speaking about how expensive the prices are. It's a bit embarrassing for the club, is it not?
Absolutely. I mean, I've just come in. Look, Rachel and Steve doing most of the heavy lifting on the fab and all the rest of it. But what I think has become evidently more clearer is that those fixtures and just to point around, because I've seen some noise around this is just about young people. It isn't just about young people. Affordability and realistic ticket pricing applies to everybody. And Rachel and I, without giving away too many state secrets, are a certain vintage, shall we say.
Very good one.
And I think what's noticeable, and certainly from we was looking at. I've got a friend of mine who's a Bristol City avid follower, and he always sends me the Bristol Rovers 9-0 clip from 48 years ago. And both Rachel and I were actually at that game. And what's noticeable when you look at the YouTube footage on that, when it pans into the crowd, is the amount of young people that are following Spurs. Now, that's getting lost in the way. So whilst affordability and young concessions, both of those things are paramount. The club also has I hate the word business, but it operates as a business. It calls us customers. Yeah, at times it ignores some of those business principles, and one of those things is about creating the next generation of Spurs fans. And so that's got to be in the interest of everybody, supporters and the club.
You mentioned point 4, concessions throughout the South Stand for children and young adults at every match. I've been a season ticket holder since '87. It was a lot. I went with my dad and my grandpa. Seemed back in the day a lot easier for young kids to go with their fathers and grandfathers and as a family. My son's not a season ticket holder. It's going to be very difficult to get him a season ticket. If I want to get him a season ticket, I've got to move to a certain areas, which I believe is some corners of the South Stand or in the North Stand in the family area, if I want to pay a junior price. Out of interest, why? If I want to get him a ticket for a Champions League game, I've got to hope the bloke next to me doesn't go, and I buy him an adult ticket. I had to buy him an adult ticket for Copenhagen, which is absolutely ludicrous and a disgrace. Why are we closing this in on just certain areas? Why can't there be concessions throughout the ground?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree, and that is the trust's policy, and that's what we've been arguing since the day dot. But you know, basically, we're going for one thing first,
Okay.
which is, the South Stand was built. The idea behind the South Stand was to have the yellow wall of Dortmund. Why they then put an 1882 section across the middle of it to ensure that any atmosphere is broken up, I don't know.
Well, we do
But
know.
yeah, basically, well, yeah, we do know. But yeah, basically, we sort of let's start with the South, and work from there. We've had people saying we don't want children in the South Stand. Well, children. I mean, I personally think yes, you should want children in the South Stand, but try telling a 14-year-old that they don't make a noise, or a 16-year-old. You're basically not allowing them to come, unless their parents can afford to buy them an adult ticket. And ironically, I went to the club recently to speak to their young advisory panel that has been just set up. And it was a group of absolutely inspiring young people aged between 11 and 16. And I was supposed to be talking to them about fan engagement, but much more importantly, I listened to them, and I really hope the club did too, because that was one of the points they said. And there was this fantastic young person who said, I'm 16 and I want to be in the South Stand. I want to make a noise, but my dad has to pay for an adult price for me.
Yeah.
That is wrong.
Yeah, and one of our viewers has just asked here, has the attitude towards these issues changed since Daniel Levy's gone? Look, I don't need you to twist a knife or say anything, mention any names, but obviously every single week at the moment we seem to be seeing a different person appointed to a certain position at Spurs. There's obviously a lot going on. Vinay's come in and Miss Lewis is here and Daniel Levy's gone. You don't have to name names, but have you noticed a potential change? Are you seeing more positive signs? Arsenal fans will tell you Vinay did great, some will tell you he did nothing. I have to say, you look down the road, they have certainly dealt with the fan engagement. I know fans still have issues with ticket pricing there, but their match day experience does seem to have changed, and the atmosphere there is good, and their home form is brilliant, partly because of the way they've dealt with the fan engagement. But do you see any signs of change?
I mean, in terms of, I think Rachel obviously deals with the detailed points because she's had more direct involvement through the FAB and the rest of it. But certainly, what is noticeable over the last month or so since the change is the level of communication, and the communications is night and day from what it was previously. I mean, it couldn't have been much worse in my opinion, but that is noticeable. I think the fan forum, was not open enough, but certainly it didn't feel as kind of restricted as previous engagement forums of such a nature. So I think, in broad terms, I think things are starting to change. The details, I say, and Rachel might want to go into some of that, but I think it's early days. But I certainly think there is a kind of freshness about the responses, and I think it's one of the reasons why we've launched the campaign as well now, is to tease that out, to say, okay, the communication is getting better. You seem to want more engagement. Well, the proof of the pudding, as everyone has said, is in the eating, isn't it? So let's see where that goes and what the club's response is to it.
Do you think realistically any of these things would be implemented mid-season, or are we looking now probably for next season?
Well, some of the things in particular, they've already done one, haven't they? Because they've reduced the categorisation of the Dortmund game,
True.
I think it is.
Yeah.
So you could say, that's probably a direct response to empty seats. And the other thing that it was noticeable in some of those games, it's not just you still got the stewarding costs, you still got the match day staffing costs. So if you don't lower some of the pricing, even from a business point of view, it doesn't make any sense to me. Certainly, coming out of the stadium on those nights when you see people standing around really, with less attendance, having to be paid, it doesn't make any sense from a business position either. If you've got more people in the stand, they're going to buy stuff, more likely to buy stuff, and they're more likely to spend money on beers and drinks for etc., food, etc. And so some of it is a unrealistic position in the first place. But I think they are starting to listen. How quickly and how quickly they respond, we shall see.
On the ticket pricing for the Champions League, I can't remember which season it was. Was it Wembley, maybe White Hart Lane? When they did a package, yeah, we only had, 3 home games.
It was Wembley.
Was it Wembley? We had a
Well, it
package.
was the year before we were at Wembley, but we just played the Champions League
That's
games
right.
there.
When the ticket pricing came out, were you straight, however you communicate, on the phone, on the email, saying, this is a bad idea, you can have empty seats here?
I think Rachel can pick that up. Yeah.
Are you saying?
Just when the ticket prices came out for the Champions League,
This
did
time,
did
yes.
you did you warn them and go, you're going to have some empty seats here?
Totally, yeah. I mean, but they asked us beforehand. We told them very clearly, and they made their decision. And we said, it absolutely won't work. I think there's a very big difference between, if your category A, what could potentially be your category A game. Let's be honest, if it was Real Madrid,
Well, that's
it would be a different question, wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
But Dortmund has not got the draw of. I mean, I'm delighted that we've got Dortmund, but but not. I'm not the one in charge of the finances. I'm thinking about who could we possibly beat. But Real Madrid, you would get all the usual people, but you'd also get anyone who wants to, come and see Real Madrid as well.
But surely it benefits everyone by doing a package, because the club get a load of money up front, and the stadiums are guaranteed to be filled. And even if we weren't doing great in the first few games, fans will generally go. I remember the CSK Moscow game when we were out. Right, it was the last group game. We were already out, and it was a pretty decent crowd at Wembley for CSK Moscow because people had already committed.
And actually, this format, there are even more games where it's sort of like, really, is there any jeopardy here? And yeah, we totally ask for the package every year. And there's some reason, there's some rule about with UEFA that you can't charge charge away fans less than the home fans, because actually people got a discount. They got a refund, didn't they, for the one of the German I've forgotten the name.
Was it?
Frankfurt, that's right, sorry. There's some sort of bit spaghetti sort of reason why that isn't going to happen. The package was basically put in because they had Wembley to fill. So you had massive number of tickets. I think the club genuinely felt that enough Spurs fans would want to come and see us in the Champions League because, it's the Champions League. But they just don't understand that actually people want to come and see a winning team and they have a limited amount of money. And so all of those sort of things and the lack of jeopardy are and the lack of glamorous teams as well are going to stop people. But they have responded. And your question about will it be next season or this season, I am expecting a change to one of their policies, which I can't say, but I'm imminently actually, and to take place immediately. So I think the club are very aware that they've got to do something about these prices.
Your name on Twitter, I hope you don't mind me saying, Rachel Martin, legacy fan. You're not the only one who puts that sort of moniker on it, and that's sort of a tongue-in-cheek thing. It happened a few years ago.
Yeah.
Do you think was there really, again, this is going back to the Levy era, which has only just finished, do you think there really was a conscious decision to sort of go, do you know what, this is not about the old guys anymore, this is all about tourists, and did they really make a decision to start pricing people out? Or was it just an unfortunate mistake and now we've got to rein it back in?
I don't think they necessarily thought, oh, we don't want her coming anymore, we'll price her out. But I don't think that people like me were in their thinking. When I do think that the conscious sort of business strategy was global, basically build the brand. I do think people like me could be utterly taken for granted. We don't go into the shop every week and buy a new kit. do buy the odd thing. This is an official from the shop. And I have to say, when we won the Europa League, I couldn't wait to get to the shop and buy the
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Europa League final shirt. You know, you buy things when you're winning.
Well, yeah.
But we are not the target market. I still don't think we are. It's about trying to grow the brand. But if you're losing people, hemorrhaging them out the other end, you know, you've got an uphill battle. And then when somebody leaves, it shows. We are the people who they can rely on, and they should cherish us, actually.
Yeah.
All the fans, you
Yeah.
know.
I've one more question, which has been a burning issue for me for the last 4 or 5 months. They changed the resale structure for season ticket holders, that you now, if it gets sold on the exchange, you get 1/19th of the value of your total season ticket, whereas in previous years you would get whatever the category price was for that specific game. So now you basically get the same regardless of who the opposition is. But I presume that my seat still gets sold at the relevant category prices to the person that buys it on the exchange. So where does the difference? The club that goes to the club, does it? The difference in price?
Yeah, I mean, they're basically saying that it evens itself out over the year, and that some people, according to their data, will buy a season ticket and then sell all their category A games, and that's not in the spirit of a season ticket. But actually, it's up to you, isn't it, really? And of course, which do you think is going to be easier to sell on the exchange? The glamorous category A games. You know that if you put your season ticket on the exchange for Man United, it will sell. You put it on for Brentford, let's say. I mean, I love Brentford. Um, if you put it on, it's not guaranteed to sell, is it? Because let's be honest, it's gone to guest sale.
Yeah.
So has Fulham. And
Yeah.
then this really drums our point home, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
Two questions. Sorry, can I just ask from our viewers, if you don't mind? I think the answer to this is long gone now. Flanners says, have there been any decisions about getting two free cup tickets back? They went when we moved to Wembley and never came back. I don't know any club that actually does that anymore.
Arsenal have that.
Do they have it? Okay. And Christopher asked, what prices did the trust actually suggest for the Champions League? So will free cup tickets come back? I suspect that will be a no. And what prices did you guys suggest for Champions League games?
yeah, for the Europa League, for the Champions League, we said keep the prices the same as for the Europa League. Basically, sell the stadium, sell all the tickets. Don't don't try and milk it for everything, because you will not sell out. And obviously, we would have gone for, if they'd gone for category C for everything.
Yeah.
Because actually category C works better for some people at the moment, because you do get concessions if it's a category game. At the moment, if it's a flat rate, so like for cup games, for the Carling Cup, Carabao Cup, Worthington Cup,
Milk Cup.
Milk Cup.
Milk Cup, you don't get a concession. So because they say they've already given it to you in the pricing. So actually for seniors, it's better to be category C. But yeah, we said keep it at that and wait and see who we get before you decide on the glamour teams and see how much they get. Sorry, what was the other question?
Free cup tickets, is that a thing of the past?
Yeah, I'm afraid.
Yeah. I mean,
We
pay more, get less.
on about it for years, but it's very, very unlikely it would ever come back.
All right, so just to finish off, you've mentioned that hopefully one of the points on the 6 here that we've got on our screen will hopefully be sorted soon. How confident are you? I mean, you might not see all 6 get passed, but how confident are you might move in the right direction?
Mark?
I think we're reasonably confident. I did say the proof of the pudding of I keep using this expression, new ownership, but it's not the new rebranded ownership and the new appointees is that they are, on the face of it, giving all the right signals of wanting and wishing to listen and to be a little bit more proactive. So, look, with any campaign, I'm new to the trust, incidentally. I've only just kind of got involved. I just want to big up while I got the opportunity, Rachel, Steve, Michael, all the other people in the trust who do a lot of good work, and you're there to be shot at, and shot at we do get. So it's a new experience for me. But I mean, we want to get involved. Let's put it this way: we've got more chance of doing things or achieving things if we're on the front foot, engaging with people, challenging the club, and I know the trust do that, and do that consistently and on a real frequent basis. So we're optimistic, reasonably optimistic, but we've got to keep pushing, and that is the nature of every campaign. I just want to stress, though, this is focused about on young, next generation, but it's also all the work the trust does is for all the supporter groups. And so I just want to underline that. Sorry,
right, you say that, Mark. If I go with my son, he's helping me, and if my dad would love to go with his grandson, they got to remember this is.
Well, actually, on that point, I was talking to my brother. He's a season ticket holder in the South Stand. I'm in the North Stand. I mean, there's a story in itself. When the stadium was opened, it was all done in phases, wasn't it? And there was about 20 of us previously used to sit together, and then some people wanted to go some in one end, others because of the concessions as well. So I stayed up in the North Stand because another fellow I go with is now in his 80s. He got concessions at the time. I didn't want to move away from him because I've been sitting next to him for 20 odd years. So even that is a demonstration of not really listening to fans. But on the point, my brother now wants to take his grandson, who's about 8, who's really getting interested in football, and it's making it incredibly difficult. And that's your point.
Just one last question for Rachel. Some of the kind of counter argument I've seen is there would be less of an issue if we were winning. Would the stadium have been fuller? I know what you were saying about the prices, but do you think that's fair at all in a time when a team is playing better football, winning more games? Obviously, we won the Europa League last season, but the Premier League form was obviously atrocious. Do you think there's any credence to that statement at all?
Sorry, when you say things would be better, are you talking about atmosphere?
Atmosphere and ticket sales.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, I agree, but ultimately, the club need to remember that they haven't delivered on that. We can't do anything about whether the team win other than be the 12th man. So we're asking the club to allow us to be the 12th man, to really capitalise on the stadium, fill it, help us find our voice, help us to get behind the team. But know that we're the people who were there through thick and thin. You will get other people who will come if we start winning again, when we start winning again, I should say, when we start winning more regularly again and playing beautiful football when we've started winning again. We are the ones that you should cherish. We are still here. We're still trying to get away tickets, even though we can't. Some of us are going to Paris, even though we still didn't manage to get a ticket. We've supported the club through thick and thin. There's been some very thick, but there is some thin, and it is thin at the moment. So value us, allow the next generation to come through, and we can help you start winning again.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant at the end there, what you say there. For me, it is a real campaign that I really believe in. I want to take my son every week. It's not affordable at the moment. I can't get him a season ticket, which is fine as a list, but for the odd game I can take him to, it's becoming far too expensive. Rachel and Mark, thank you so much. I know you say you do get shot at, and sometimes people don't always agree, but I think this really has to be a campaign that all fans should get behind. And interesting that you say the lines of communication might be improving to the club. So I really hope we can tick off all 6 of those points, but at least some of them. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers. Thank you. Great.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. To hear some insight there. I have to say, we've talked about it a bit, haven't we? The ticket issue, the Champions League thing, bit of an own goal for want of a better.
Like I say, I find it
staggering that they've got people that are really in touch with the fan base telling them certain things, and they just completely
This is what I was going to say.
And then that is the result. And by the way, I was looking at that CSKA Moscow game, 62,000 for a dead rubber at Wembley, and people hated Wembley. That was not our home ground, and that is the outcome.
But they were pot committed to go.
That's my point.
Yeah.
So it worked from the club's point of view.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, if they had done a package for 4 games, Copenhagen would have been closer to 58,000. I guarantee you, because people would have paid their money.
What would you
already.
accept financially? Copenhagen, Slavia Prague.
Do it as a 4, 200 quid.
Who was our teams? Dortmund, Copenhagen, Slavia Prague, and
Villarreal.
The 200
And one
quid.
more.
200 quid. No, it's 4.
Yeah.
I think that is perfectly reasonable for 4 Champions League games. Okay, I know they're not the most glamorous, but 4 Champions League games, 200 quid, and you pay the money, and you've forgotten about it by the time the games come around in November, December. It just feels. I'm actually quite lucky because I don't think that my 4 tickets.
Because you're loaded.
Definitely not low. I don't think that the South Stand are some of the cheaper tickets in the grounds, so I don't actually know what 4 games worth in the Champions League would have been. I think it would have been be a like 65, so it would still be more than
quid.
2. Yeah, maybe 200, maybe.
Sounds
whatever.
a lot.
But like Adam, for example, he said that his
mine
4
was the same.
games are like what, more than 300 quid.
I would average around 80 quid, I would say, based on
more.
the category.
I mean, that's just
No, it's more.
mad.
Is it?
Category B games are 96.
Yeah, well, I was looking at
Category A is 109 now or something.
I was looking at is it Prague, the next game, Slavia
Yeah.
Prague, because I've not bought a ticket yet, and I was just looking last night around the ground, and
Must be loads.
is it East Upper? Is East Upper?
The shelf.
Yeah, the shelf. 81 quid.
Yeah.
81
I
quid
think
for
That
Slavia
must be at the
Prague.
back as well, by the way.
It
Is it Category C game?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's the bit against Copenhagen and Villarreal, that sort of top right bit, if you're in the dugout, which is completely empty.
So where I sit, Block 501 West Stand, right up in the corner by the South Stand, empty. I walk in there on Copenhagen, Villarreal, barely any seats. I'm sort of
Where's this,
2/3 of
sorry?
the way up. West Upper 501 corner near the South Stand, opposite the way you're saying. We have the same problem in the West Upper.
Yeah.
It's empty. I think Slavia Prague, I have to take a night off work because I work on the Champions League to go to Copenhagen. I'm not going to do it for Slavia.
Also, I know Jake's saying a package, but even if they didn't do a package and they said it would be 50 quid across the board, that would make people much more inclined. Because also, if you were going to pay 50 quid in August for the first game and then 50 quid in December for the last game or whenever, January, whenever
Yeah.
it is, I think you'd do that.
If we had
You
59...
don't want to pay £98 to go to
Of course not.
whatever a
Of
category
course
is.
not.
Mad
59,000
96,
against
I think it is.
Copenhagen, I think, and they bought a few thousand. I think we could have 55.
Wait, you mean 49,000?
Was it 49 against Copenhagen?
Yeah.
Sorry. 49,000.
Yeah.
We'll have fewer for Slavia Prague. And
But would there be a chance that they put them down again?
No, because what
it's
about people
done.
have already bought?
It's done.
People already paid. You're
Well,
stuck
I'd like
now.
to know I'd love to know how many people have already paid. Oh yeah, don't get me started on booking fees. Jesus Christ, what's that? Do you know what? I'd quite like to see 25,000 people against Slavia to
So
make a
would
point. To make a point. You know, the fans do this, turn their back on it after this minute, or don't
I was
walk in.
going to ask about a
Don't
proper
walk
boycott.
in. The only way you're going to do it is by literally nobody turning up.
There would never be, I don't think, for a Champions League game, which is a big game as well. Fans want to go and watch their team win because we need to win.
Yeah.
I don't think there'd ever be less than 40,000 for a Champions League game. I just don't think there would be, personally. There you go, look, 240,
So just
80 quid a game.
so mijo, maybe he's Spanish. Just so me Joe, £241.50 for 3 games so far. 1 adult, 1 junior.
That doesn't sound that bad, actually. Does
Oh,
it?
come on.
That's £80 a game,
Copenhagen,
2
Villarreal and
tickets.
Slavia.
which is £80 a game for 2 tickets or 1.
I reckon it's for the 2 per game.
Yes,
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
154 per
No, but
game.
the total, the
Yeah, that could be right.
Just Some Joe, 240, but that's for 6 tickets.
Oh, Just Some Joe. You read it properly. I couldn't work it out. Whatever
It's so
it is,
Spanish.
listen,
Yeah, I'm
listen,
not saying it's cheap.
It's
not
too,
cheap.
it's too
a joke.
expensive.
Even the Doncaster, I actually went, God knows what, it was 30 quid for a
Nonsense.
Carabao Cup set. Why? Why is it 30 quid? It should be a £5 for kids and a £10 for adults. It should be.
I think Doncaster was in half term as well.
It was. It's absolute madness that even that game. The same as the FA Cup third round, unless we get a top 6 team, whether it's Fulham, Huddersfield, Leyton Orient, it should be a tenner for adults, 15 max, and £5 for kids.
I mean, it's never going to be a tenner. I'd love to pay a tenner.
should be.
It's never going to be a tenner.
It should be.
But the thing is, even if it was 15, 20 quid, you go, well, what can you actually get for 15 or 20 quid?
I feel
No-
the
in this world, nothing.
Morecambe and
You
some
pay it
other
and go.
jag. I think we've had 20 quid and a £5 for kids in the FA Cup third
it's fine.
round.
If 20, no, not going to be a tenner, is it?
No, you're never going to get a tenner.
It's
Pilch,
They want the big
2
crowds
pints.
in.
Pilch says, do you think the players look up and ever think, blimey, that's a small crowd? I did once ask
They will.
friend of the show, Don Hutchison, do the players talk about the crowd? He said, yeah. When he was at, I think it was Everton, I don't want to misquote him here, he's not listening anyway. But he said, you knew when there was a good crowd in and you knew when there wasn't.
Yeah.
It definitely works the other way. I definitely look on the pitch and think, we are really shit.
But what you said, Jake, was right. I often wonder whether it's a two-way street. It probably is a two-way street.
20 and 10 for Morecambe.
Yeah. But, okay, that's affordable.
And 40
and
for a
correct.
family.
That's fine. I remember taking wife
And I
and
bet it
two
was a
kids.
decent crowd, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mental.
It's a two-way street. We're so bad at home. We start winning. I believe if we'd beaten Chelsea on that Saturday, you'd have had,
6,000 more.
I was going to say 55,000 against Copenhagen.
Definitely.
But that doesn't excuse it. I know you asked the question. It doesn't excuse it.
No, it doesn't. But I know that's what a lot of people have been saying. Oh, win games, that'll fill the stadium. But it is too expensive. I mean,
It will to an extent, but honestly, if we'd won 3 more home games, let's say, I don't think Copenhagen would have been a sellout. It just wouldn't.
It was never selling out at that
It wouldn't.
price.
If we beat, very unlikely, Arsenal at the Emirates, PSG, and Newcastle, will Slavia Prague be a sellout? No chance.
No.
Absolutely no chance. It's not just all on results.
Diamond Dave says, before the pandemic, I used to do about 6 games a season. Now it's 2 or 3. And that was in the days of concession tickets, £25 as I'm over 60. It's wrong. It's wrong. My dad is in his 70s. He's paying full whack in the West Upper.
Which is, what's that per game, like averagely?
Well, I think his season ticket's around 1,500.
That is mental.
Possibly a little bit more.
It's more now.
That is
16.
nuts.
Yeah.
It's not on, and I know it's London and it's the best stadium in the world, but they're going to soon realise, and I hope they realise, that people can't afford this anymore. He talked about the Koreans. The tourists are not going to come. Yeah, we've lost a lot of the Sun fans, but 40,000, Ronnie says, Morecambe.
Well, maybe it wasn't that good.
But still. Right, let's move on. It's a good campaign, and hopefully the Trust can really drum it home and get the club to change more than just one of the 6 points. We talked briefly about Arsenal.
Oh yeah, we need to continue talking about how many we're going to lose by, don't we?
I think we're going to get something.
No, you don't.
No,
There was
I don't.
actually a point what they said which stuck with me. The best way of achieving success is by doing it on the front foot.
That's what she said.
Thomas Frank.
Oh, Thomas Frank. Does he?
No, I'm saying what they said is the best way of achieving success is by going all out on the front foot. Maybe they should do that on the pitch.
Can you see this? The players we've got at the moment. Can you see them doing that? We've talked about. I keep going on about this. It's stuck. Hang on, it's stuck in my head. When Newcastle picked the ball up outside the box against West Ham, I know they lost that game, but within 5 seconds they had 4 players ahead of the ball. That sort of all-out front foot.
And that run against United from Xavi Simons also sticks with me, where he
No one ahead of
beat
him.
2-3 men, and then he was like, "Oh, no one's here." Then turned back and lost it because there was 5 or 6
Yeah.
United players surrounding him.
We were talking about whether we think the back 5 is ever going to resurface, and you reckon that these could be the next 2 games.
Yeah, I think
I
if
think
there's
we'd
any
have seen
games
it by
to do
now.
it.
Or do you think that he wouldn't have, if it's still in his thoughts, he's looked at that Chelsea game and gone, not going to do it at home?
I think he should have done it.
I think we'll
Not
find
even-
out.
not
If he
even in
doesn't do it
hindsight.
against Arsenal, I think that's it, isn't it? We'll never see We'll never see it again.
How do we feel about playing potential? Sorry to say it, potential champions and champions of Europe in the space of 4 days with the squad we've got.
Well, they're doing the double. No, not a chance. Then you think they can win the Champions League and the Premier League?
No,
this season?
you Wally. Us playing
and all.
playing the potential champions and the European champions in the space of 4 days with the current state of the
Fulham aren't
squad.
going to win the league. I mean, it is basically as brutal of a 4-day period we've ever had. Ever.
Yeah.
Have we ever had 2 harder fixtures? Ever. Have we ever played like Real Madrid and Man United? I don't
I
think
don't know
we've
who
ever
we
had
played
it harder.
around the Barca Messi team.
But
I don't
that's
know.
just an astonishing,
All right, do we learn anything from these 2 games based on Arsenal are very, very good at home? We never get anything there, and we're playing the European champions. So I know we took all the way to penalties, but they had about 3.5 minutes training before that. They've got a lot of injuries.
I think you always learn more. Sorry to interrupt you about a North London derby, regardless of how good they are. I think you always know a lot. It tells you a lot about individual players, especially in a away North London derby, where we've often sunk and wilted for 20 years. And we can lose the game and players can come out with plenty of credit. I know that means nothing as fans, but we've got such a bad record there, and we've basically hardly ever performed well there. In
First North London derby since 2014 that Kane and Son, won't play in.
Kane's been he's been doing all right, hasn't he? I think though the way we've been playing away from home this season and the results we've picked up and the way we've set up as well, because I think that's important, I think gives me some cause for optimism that maybe we could get
Interesting question. Are you more optimistic of getting a point away than you are at home?
Well, having seen that Chelsea game, you have to be now, because there's nothing that gives us any confidence at the moment as to how we're playing at home. Having said that, we've got Fulham and Brentford, our next two home games. I expect us to beat Fulham.
Got to win both.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
You can't even. That's how bad it is. You can't.
But
But
it is bad. When was
I know. I'm not blaming you.
You can't deny that it's been bad at home. But conversely, the way we've been playing and the way we've been setting up away from home gives me the only thing the scariest thing away at Arsenal is the set pieces, because I look at the way Arsenal have been playing. As I said already, they've put away the bad teams at home. We've been a good team away. So I don't think we go there like a Leeds or.
But they've also conceded. They've also conceded 1 goal in 10 games. Or 2,
yeah. That's why I can't. I know we all sort of. I can't see us winning, but I don't necessarily think if we can keep the set piece. I know it's much easier said than done. I think the set pieces are massive from open play. I see the two things: the way we've been playing and the way they play. I see us in open play being able to contain them for the most part.
My problem, Jake, is we talk about we're doing well away from home. I agree the setup is good. I think that's easy. That comes easy to Frank.
Well, fine, but we're playing away.
The thing about the away games that, and I know the results in the Premier League can be good, right? But correct me if I'm wrong. Last 4 away games: Bodo Glint, horrendous. Monaco, horrendous.
Everton.
Newcastle was decent at times, not very good. And Everton. Those are the 4 away games that are sticking with me. The bits earlier in the season, West Ham, Brighton and City, are months ago now.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. I think we have...
Leeds?
There was ages ago.
Leeds
Leeds
was even like 8 weeks ago.
You've got to beat Leeds away. I just think results are good. I'm not so sure performances are. Everton, Adam said it here, they got 1. They might have gone on and won that. Okay, they didn't. But we didn't keep the ball. Arsenal are quite relentless. I know it's all about set pieces. They still move the ball nicely.
They do move the ball nicely.
And the ball is going to keep coming back.
For as much as nice as they move the ball, they haven't scored that many memorable goals from open play.
Barely scoring.
The goal against City, for example, was just a long ball that they managed to.
Yeah, no,
I mean, Gyökeres isn't even playing, is he?
Well,
he's going to be fit.
Is he going to be fit?
It's a tale as old as time.
He hasn't made them that much better from open play.
No.
I just look at the Arsenal side and I'm thinking like, yeah, okay, they'll probably win because they've just been able to get results. They've got the know-how. They've got through games. They'll probably win. They'll probably win 1 or 2-0. But how many of those 1 or 2-0s are going to be from set pieces? And then you go, well...
Yeah, but they find ways, Arsenal.
That's what I mean. They find a way. That's why they'll probably win. So but I don't go into this game really scared of us getting a hiding.
Ronnie says Gabriel is out. Look, it's a tale as old as time with Arsenal at the moment. They'll tell you they've got a load of injuries. Calafiori was injured. Now they're saying he's going to be fit. I suspect Gyökeres will be available. All right, we're going to leave it there.
No, wait. We've not mentioned the women.
Oh, yeah. I didn't do club news. You're absolutely right. They got a 0-0 draw against Arsenal, which is a really good result. I do think it was always...
that, wouldn't we?
We would. We said
they've closed the gap.
They have closed the gap. I think it was always going to be 0, and the important thing was shutting Arsenal out, and they did it.
But they made Arsenal look ordinary. I watched it for a little bit, and I know Arsenal are miles off the top teams, but the gap has closed a lot.
The manager, Martin Ho's, come in and done a really good job. They've signed some good players. Again, it's all about money, and hopefully the new regime will put some money into the women's team. But yeah, they have closed the gap, but we would all take a 0-0 draw.
Well, I was going to say, I'm sure Frank has looked at the way Sunderland played. He will have looked at because we can do some of that.
Aggressive, organised. Yeah, that's what you're going to have to be.
We bloody need Kudus to be fit. We haven't mentioned that. I know we've almost all forgotten about that. I think him to be fit.
I think
badly.
Right.
If we've got any chance of getting anything from that game, he has to be fit because he is the one guy at the Emirates that can get us up the pitch and give us a bit of respite, because you know what they're like. You know, especially us, you play against them, it feels like they've got 15 players every time.
What's the starting lineup going to be?
All right, we'll do that quickly before we leave.
You ask the questions.
Yeah. Vicario in goal. I think he'll go a back four, the normal back four. When I say normal,
Got to be a doggy.
It's got to be a doggy.
You got to prioritise this game for a dog. You play Spence against PSG.
Yeah.
We won't see.
I think he'll play Bentancur and Paulinho.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be
Is Sarr
surprised
fit?
if Sarr is fit. I wouldn't be surprised to see Sarr play. Kudus on the right,
Instead of
with Charlison in the middle, and
Simmons.
Odebear on the left, and Siemens on the bench.
Odebear's got to start.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
He's our best left winger. I've given him a lot of stick, but he has to start now. He's got confidence. He was our best player against United in half an hour.
He was.
Or second half.
So I think if Bergvall is not available and Siemens and Sarr is, I think he might just go there to bolster up the
Do you think
midfield.
if Bergwell's fit though, he'll play at 10?
He won't play.
Don't
He won't
start.
play.
No
No?
chance.
No.
So it'll be Sarr. But the problem is, if Sarr's not fit, then what does he do?
He'll play Siemens.
I think it's unfortunate, really, isn't it? We've now got to the point where you're looking at it going, Arsenal away ain't the game for Xavi Simons at the moment. Is it?
That's where you should be looking at thinking that's your £50 million
Correct.
man.
But
you're
you're sort of looking at it now going, that could be the end of him.
What do you mean the end of him?
Well, in the end of him in terms of...
He's going in January.
He's not going.
He's already sold him off.
But how does he come mentally? He's
I
already
wouldn't-
not. He's
I know,
already
I know,
struggling.
I
And I'd be the
completely know what you're
first to say
saying.
that players need time and etc. But maybe now you're looking at it going,
Doesn't trust him to play in these games.
well, not doesn't trust him. He's not ready.
I know what you're saying, Jay. I
He's
completely
not
know what
ready.
you're saying, but we've also got massive games coming up week after week. Newcastle, PSG,
Yeah, but do you
Liverpool.
keep just throwing him in and saying, just go and do it, son, when he's not?
Well, that's what we talked about a few weeks ago. Just play him the next 10 games and go, I know you're going to make mistakes. I know you're going to get shrugged off the ball. I need you to play to get up to speed.
This
Well, maybe
is
he
the
will
kind
do
of
that then.
game.
Maybe he will do that.
This is the kind of game. I know we're all pessimistic about Arsenal. This is the kind of game that changes this season.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That
It
is
could
the
go
kind
other
of
way.
game where, as George says, it could be the making of him. Look, it will be hard for anyone. Any number 10 that will go to the Emirates this season is not going to get a lot. You know what they're going to be like. They're banging your faces. They're a fit team. They give you nothing. It will be hard, but this is why we paid a lot of money. for them.
Ronnie's team's interesting. It's basically a bunch of false nines. Vicario, Porro, Romero, Danso, Van der Ven, Doggy. So that's 5 at the back. Paulinho and Bentancur with Xavi, Odebear and Kudus.
I actually... So it's
But it's Kudus in the...
Kudus up front.
Yeah. I don't mind that team. It's such a shame we don't have a centre forward. If you swapped out, put Solanke or Kolomawani in there, certainly Solanke, you go, yeah, do you know what? I don't mind that team because it might stick up front. It's
That's
solid.
mad to think, though, isn't it? That we've got potentially going to Arsenal and we're not playing a striker when we've got 3, like £50 million.
Well, even
No,
if you
I think up top, I think he'll do. I think he could well go. If Kudus is fit, I think he could stick with that Richarlison.
I cannot be arsed with Richarlison.
Richarlison,
I cannot
Kolomawani,
be arsed.
like against United. Was that what he started against United? Yeah.
Just, you know what you're going to get from Richarlison. He's going to get swept up by Gabriel, maybe not Gabriel now, and Saliba. He'll get nothing, and he'll end up whinging. And...
Physical though, I don't know. I think he could play with. I think they
we'll,
could.
we'll
start.
leave it there with the words of Flanners. If only we had Troy Parrott. Right, quick prediction for Sunday.
1-1.
Okay. Yep.
Don't ask which way.
2-0.
To Spurs.
2-0 then. We don't have more than a shot on target.
No, we're winning it. We're winning it 2-1.
You actually saying that?
Yeah. Of course we're not. But I just wanted to clip it up when it happens. So I could be the positive guy.
We're winning it.
How much money would you pay for us to win that game 1-0? Like a late, sloppy set piece.
Few grand.
A few people have said it. Would you genuinely pay a few grand?
Yeah.
A few grand.
Yeah. Can we club together?
Are you going to watch it?
Crowdfund. Can we crowdfund?
Are you
it?
going to watch it?
No. Yeah, I'll watch
He's
it.
been asked.
I will
You're
watch. My
pathetic.
son's got a game at 10 to
You
4.
are pathetic.
My son's got a game at 10 to 4. I'll be home by.
10 to 4?
I
on
know it.
Sunday?
Annoyingly, they've put.
Is it live on Sky?
on the red button.
Football. I've never had a game past 10 o'clock on a Sunday.
Yeah, so I'll watch the second half. All right, gentlemen, we will be back next week. Apparently, special guest Gary Diamond. Remember him?
Friend of the show.
Out of
He's
the
going
dog.
to come on after we beat him.
He's
and go
going.
near the big un.
He's going
Oh,
to the
of course he's
game.
going.
So the mood will be decided by him on Monday morning. We will see you next week post Arsenal. We can preview playing the Champions League winners. What a week to be a Tottenham Hotspur fan. We're going to bring 3 points home from up the road and then go to Paris and get 3 points. We will see you next Monday and up the Spurs. Is he in there?
No.
Shall I press the button?
Press the button.
Didn't work.